We're in the wild woolly swamp. I'm looking out for gator here. There's all kind of vermin down in the swamp. This is the woolly swamp. I saw something move over to the right. I'm panning. Was it a bird? Yeah, the bird got me. Things get you. Try to zoom in. He's real dark. He just took off. Sometimes it's hard to catch stuff out here. But I'm looking for the gator. But look at this water, how clear it is. I see right down to the bottom. Too much sun. I see all kind of stuff swinging the water over here. I can see leaves on the bottom, which turn the water dark eventually, like the Okefenokee, they call it tannic acid. And there's a lot of things growing in this swamp that I don't know. I got questions. We're gonna get out of the swamp. It's just a quick, I see where a gator's been. I'm getting out of here. We arrived at the Savannah National Wildlife Refuge Interpretive Center. It's called Beach Hill. I just photographed this beech tree over here. And behind me you see a swamp, cypress swamp, and you got palmettos and river cane and all these things that grow in our environment behind us. So we just took a little walk. They've got a lot of cool stuff here. We met the archaeologist, lady named Amy, and she referred us to other information on how we could walk these dikes. We're coming back out here. We found out we can get to the Waring site, so we're kind of on going to the Waring site later. Our first gator. We were just starting to get walking good, and lo and behold, he's just laying right there on a lift. See him?
Yeah, what is it, about 5 foot? Maybe 6?
Yeah, it might be a 6 footer. I don't want to play with him.
I don't either.
He's a biggie.
What we have here is Arundaria gigantea, river cane. And as you can see, it's very similar to bamboo. It grows a lot bigger out there in the swamp. And a lot of people have noted in the past the similarities between South China and Southeast Asia and the American Southeast. Here's another trait that the New Santeo culture would have found familiar when they got to the shores of Savannah, there on the banks of the Savannah River. Walking on the lawn, that's fine.
Joe and I were talking here at the end of the talk, and we looked across there and we said, is that a rise in the land over there from a mound, or is that topographical? Well, evidently this is a slough of some kind that he's walking across a log, because it's kind of soft ground, but there's high ground on the other side. Is this a rice field? Is this an Indian mound? All we got is questions, right, Joe?
We got mounds.
Joe just said we got mounds. Well, day's getting short. It's another video later. You got any questions, Joe? Got a mound. They got questions about these mounds. There's something going on out here. We don't know what we've been told. What we know, there's more questions.
It's
getting more interesting. American holly plant. This is the bush that Richard
Thornton
was talking about in the black drink ceremony, and it's all documented that during certain times of the year they purged their bodies like spring. They drank this berry, they cooked it up in cauldrons, the ladies served. There's like a liter. Everybody drank gallons of this stuff out of conch shells. And it's like drinking mounds of coffee and tripping and throwing up. And it was process of cleansing your body. And this is a tie between the Mesoamericans and the Indians right here in our backyard where we're walking at Beach Hill right here in Savannah, Georgia. We got questions. We have come to the farther up the river to the Waring site, which is located in the Savannah National Wildlife Refuge. It's about 4 or 5 miles above the Bilbo site, and we haven't quite gotten to Waring Site 1 and Waring Site 2, but we're going to meet the right people here, and we're going to locate it. We just haven't, we got to get permission to go in here because it's all security here, but there's some nice people. Joe knows a grease man, used to sell grease too. So we're going to go talk to them right now. We've arrived at the Savannah National Wildlife Refuge office. We're getting ready to get some questions answered. Joe's getting ready to walk inside the door right now. We're getting ready to meet the staff archaeologists. We'll be back with you in a moment.
Paleo Indians hunted mastodon, bison, giant ground sloth, and giant armadillo, and gathered a variety of plants, nuts, and berries in the Savannah River Basin more than 10,000 years ago. These nomadic people made spear points, knives, and other items from stone, bone, antler, and wood. From 1150 to 1740, sounds like Wally Indians, there you go, you told me that, lived along the Savannah River and Atlantic coast. They occupied small villages and permanent towns, building earthen mounds and council houses for meetings and ceremonies. Wooden fences often surrounded the towns. The Wally cultivated maize, beans, and pumpkins. They hunted white-tailed deer, waterfowl, and other game, and harvested fish, shellfish, turtles, and wild plants. By 1763, the Wally disappeared from the historic record. Okay, 9,000 years ago, the climate was warmer. Archaic Indians hunted small game, harvested fish and shellfish, and foraged seasonal foods. Archaic peoples produced the first known ceramics in North America. So we have some reports of those 9,000 actually to 12,000 year old ones in those 2009 reports from the Bilbo Mound. And it's most similar to the Stallings Island material, which we can see right here. The Stallings Island plain pottery named St. Simon's along the Georgia coast. This fiber-tempered pottery dates between 3,500 to 4,500 years ago. The evolution and spread of pottery throughout the southeast appears to be closely tied to use of shellfish, clam, oyster, conch on the coast, and freshwater mussels on interior waterways. Well, if I'm not mistaken, this is also the kind that the fibers that they tempered this with were Spanish moss and palmetto leaves. And then here's the Stallings Island punctuated pottery, commonly called drag and jab because the pottery makers poke the clay with patterns of holes, and that seems to have continued in the Deptford Czech stamped pottery, one of the first widespread pottery types in the southeast. On the Savannah River, this sand-tempered pottery dates between 2,000 and 2,500 years ago.
We have blueback herring, American shad, Alabama shad, skipjack herring, alewife. Over here you've got short-nosed sturgeon, and you have striped bass. So all these fish live in this tidal freshwater because of salinity, the water temperature, the water depth is kept constant on a daily basis. Loblolly pine, which grows in your front yard. Swamp chestnut oak, which grows all over the swamps. Joe's found a mound over here on Beach Hill. We're coming back here to the Savannah River National Wildlife Refuge. We had a good day. We'll see y'all later.
Oh, this is neat.